Hey everyone, this is the Square Autistic speaking. I want to add that I have a script for this video, so my eyes will not be on the camera very much. I hope you will understand. I am trying to figure out the lighting situation, so please bear with me for a few videos while I get it figured out. I may have to buy a lighting system, but I'm not very knowledgeable in that area, and I have a limited amount of space due to the layout in my room. For this video, I want to go over the social part of support levels. Levels of support are exactly that. They are the degree of how much support an autistic person needs in order to function properly. It's a spectrum of support. There are 3 levels: level 1, level 2, level 3. I was diagnosed with level 2 RRB and level 3 social. I would have been level 3 all around, but I can work if the environment fits my ability. I have communication and processing delays, as well as limited communication skills. I do not recognize social cues, nor do I have the ability to navigate socialization. I have high difficulty with changes, distress with sensory overwhelm, high need of schedules and routines, and showering challenges. I cannot cook for myself very well, even though I can bake. I get very dysregulated with sensory overwhelm, and I have shutdowns frequently. I try to keep my stimming to a minimum because I don't like it when I have the attention of people, but I am almost always stimming, even if you can't see it. These levels of support will vary from person to person, and the amount of support can definitely change over time for them, even in the same day. Some general examples of socializing of each level are: level 1. The person with autism may be able to have more of a back and forth conversation, but they are still struggling silently. There won't be visual signs of struggling, but their energy meter is draining for them. Level 2. You may be able to visually notice the difference with this autistic person due to the conversation you are having with them. They're having more difficulty with socializing and having a conversation. They may only be responding with short responses. They may tend to talk about their interests and not really go back and forth in the conversation very much. Level 3. You may be able to tell language is very difficult for this person. They may only communicate to get their needs met, and they may not be verbal. They could use other means to communicate, like pointing at photos, or using an electronic device, or maybe even sign language. And maybe they only use a couple words at a time. Every level can have trouble with making and maintaining eye contact, and yes, even level 1. They may all use scripting as well to communicate. Masking for so long can make a person with a higher level of support look like a level 1. When I first started looking into the autism stuff again, I really thought I was a level 1. But after receiving my diagnosis, I realized I actually need more support than I thought. This was the primary reason why I wish I had known I was autistic when I was younger, because I was very misunderstood growing up, and there was not much support at all for me. Not just because I knew what I actually needed and that my brain processed differently, but I experienced a lot of trauma. Both of my parents had it rough as well. I was sick all the time, constantly. Mom would tell me I would cry constantly, and the only times they could really rest was when the vacuum was on, because it seemed to soothe me. I now know why, because it helped me focus on a single thing. It helped my brain drown out all the other stimulations in my surroundings. If I had known at an earlier age, I could have taken steps to prevent myself from entering burnout. For me, I script to communicate. If I have to make a phone call, I always have to be at my desk with my computer and have my pen and paper ready so I can function properly while I'm on the phone. My computer, I use a notepad or Microsoft Word to script, but ever since I bought a program called Scrivener for this book I'm writing, I use that to script. I'm able to change the background to a dark version, and it helps my scotopic syndrome, which is also known as Arlene syndrome, and it helps me to be able to read what I wrote. Scripting before a phone call is very important to me because I can write down exactly what I want to say. I don't have to think about the words to use while speaking to said person. And yes, unfortunately, there are times where I can't say exactly on my script, but I do the best I can with my situation. A phone call, regardless of script or not, can always be unpredictable because you don't know what the other person will say and especially how they will answer. I prefer text to calls almost always, unless it's an emergency where I need the answer immediately. Unfortunately, relying so much on scripting is probably the reason why I can't socialize like most people can. I can't communicate back and forth in conversations very well because my processing time is delayed and I cannot predict how the conversation will go. If I'm scripting with a phone call, I can, most of the time, control how the conversation will go, especially if I'm the one initiating the call, like when I'm calling to ask questions about something to an establishment. If my husband is out with me and I am needing to socialize with someone, he will step in for me if he notices I'm struggling to communicate. Please note, I am in no way a medical professional and I cannot diagnose anyone. I'm just explaining my experiences. This is the Square Autistic signing off, and remember, squares are cool.